home, you know. I can't.
I mean, it must be really hard.
It is.
Tonight, the I-Team investigates Wired Away, the warning after a local couple's life savings vanished. They lost $300,000 during the purchase of their dream home.
Imagine spending your entire career saving for retirement, finally finding your dream home on the river, and then watching $300,000 vanish in a single wire transfer because of one email that looked completely legitimate. That is exactly what happened to William and Nancy, a couple from Wilmington, Illinois, who lost their entire life savings just 2 weeks before they were supposed to close on the home they had dreamed about for decades.
I can't.
I mean, it must be really hard.
It is.
If you think you would never fall for something like this, I need you to stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how sophisticated these scams have become, and why even the most careful people are falling victim every single day. And if this kind of investigative content helps you stay informed and protected, take a second right now to subscribe, because we break down real scams like this one, so you never become the next headline. William and Nancy had done everything right in their lives. They worked hard, they saved diligently, and they planned carefully for the day when they could finally retire in comfort. After years of searching, they found it. A beautiful house on the river in Wilmington, Illinois. The kind of place where they could spend their golden years in peace. The couple was navigating the standard home buying process, working with a real estate attorney, a realtor, and a title company. And everything seemed to be moving forward exactly as expected, with no red flags and no unusual requests. As the closing date approached, William and Nancy received an email that appeared to come directly from their real estate attorney's assistant, with detailed instructions on how to wire their closing funds. The email address matched the contact information they had been using throughout the entire transaction, and the attachment displayed the law firm's official letterhead, the exact address of the property they were purchasing, the name of the title insurance company, and the precise balance they owed for closing. Nancy later recalled how legitimate everything looked, saying the emails they copied and the signatures from the lawyer and the real estate agent were perfect, and anyone could fall for it, especially when an attachment comes along that looks like your actual closing documents, because it feels like another form of verification. Following those instructions without any reason to doubt their authenticity, William and Nancy wired $37,000, their entire life savings, approximately 2 weeks before the scheduled closing, believing they were simply completing the necessary steps to finalize the purchase of their forever home. When the day of closing finally arrived, William and Nancy showed up, ready to sign documents and receive the keys to their new home. But instead, they were met with devastating confusion, because the closing could not proceed. The money they had wired was not where it was supposed to be. The funds had never reached the title company, and the $37,000 had been sent to an account controlled by criminals who had posed as representatives of the real estate law firm. William described that moment as overwhelming, saying they were in shock and he could barely drive home because processing what had happened seemed impossible. The couple sat at the closing table as the reality set in. The money they had spent decades accumulating was gone, and their plans for retirement and the home they had chosen all seemed to collapse in an instant. Their daughter witnessed the entire heartbreaking scene and later described how the tears started flowing as soon as it became clear what had happened. with William and Nancy repeating over and over that they had sent the money exactly as they were told to do. The investigation that followed revealed that the scammers had used what is known as spoofing technology, which allowed them to make the fraudulent email appear as though it was coming from the real estate attorney's assistant's actual email address. And the level of detail in the message suggested that whoever sent it had access to information that should have been known only to those directly involved in the closing. Upon closer examination, cybersecurity experts found a few subtle irregularities in the fraudulent email. Some sentences contained poor grammar or awkward phrasing that did not sound entirely professional. But these were small details that would be easily overlooked in an otherwise convincing message. And for most people not trained to identify such scams, these minor flaws would never have been enough to raise suspicion. The real estate law firm involved, Pfizer Barty, refused to speak on camera, but issued a statement explaining that they were victims of criminals who had stolen their letterhead and logo from a legitimate closing confirmation email their office had sent out just 2 days before the fraudulent email reached William and Nancy. The firm stated that they had not been hacked and that an independent forensic security audit of their email accounts showed no irregularities, emphasizing that they use encryption and anti-spoofing protocols and include warnings about wire transfer scams in all their communications. Despite these assertions, the troubling fact remained that the scammers had somehow obtained highly specific information about this particular transaction, and cybersecurity experts noted that the criminals could have targeted any of the parties involved, whether the real estate attorney, the title company, the realtor, or even the buyers themselves, since any of these could have been the point of entry for the scheme. FBI Special Agent Eric Schiffman explained that investigators examined the servers and email systems of everyone involved in transactions like this, reviewing records from the law firm, the title company, the realtor, and the buyers to determine where the breach occurred and what information the criminals were able to access. The title company involved, Citywide Title, did not respond to requests for comment, and the realtor who worked with the couple expressed that she was very upset for the family but did not provide additional details about how the breach may have occurred. For William and Nancy, the loss was nothing short of catastrophic because without their life savings, they could no longer afford to purchase the home, and their carefully planned retirement was now in financial ruin. In an act of profound love and sacrifice, the couple's daughter stepped in and purchased the home for them, which allowed William and Nancy to move into the house they had chosen. But it did not resolve the devastating financial loss they had suffered. The $37,000 they lost represented their entire retirement fund, and recovering it seemed unlikely since their only potential avenue for reimbursement was through an insurance claim that would depend on investigators determining which business had been compromised and whether that business carried cyber insurance, a coverage that was not widely required or commonly held by many companies involved in real estate transactions at the time. What makes this case even more disturbing is that it is part of a massive trend sweeping across the country. According to the FBI, wire fraud schemes targeting real estate transactions have risen dramatically, with thieves attempting to steal approximately $1 billion through these types of scams in the year this incident occurred, and the crimes have become increasingly sophisticated, with criminals using detailed knowledge of real estate transactions to craft emails that are nearly indistinguishable from legitimate communications. This is not a story about careless people making foolish mistakes. This is a story about criminals who have become experts at exploiting trust, and about a system where too many gaps still exist in protecting consumers during what should be one of the happiest moments of their lives. If this video helped you understand how these scams work and what you can do to protect yourself and the people you love, please subscribe to this channel right now, because we are committed to bringing you real, investigative content that exposes the tactics criminals use, so you can stay one step ahead. Talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents, talk to anyone you know who might be buying a home soon, because awareness is the most powerful defense against fraud. Always verify, never assume, and remember that one phone call to confirm wiring instructions could save you everything you have worked your entire life to build. Stay safe, stay informed, and we will see you in the next investigation.